Oh, hello, Spirit House here. I'm here to read two more chapters from The Secret of Light by Walter Russell. I hope everyone's having a wonderful day. If you do like this, then please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate it. And I shall begin. We're reading chapter 9 first, and it's the two electric desires. Electricity is the servant of mind. It does all of the work of creating this lightwave universe in unfolding, refolding sequences which mind desires. The universal mind has two desires, the desire for creative expression through the action of concentrative thinking, and the desire for rest from action through decentrative thinking. One desire is for separation from oneness into unbalanced multiplicity, and the other is for voidance of multiplicity into balanced oneness. One desire is for action and the other for rest. These two desires of mind constitute the give for re-giving principle by means of which all things in nature grow or unfold by appearing from the void of rest in the kingdom of heaven, from which all creating things appear, disappear, and reappear in sequential cycles. The electric expression of the two desires is reflected in the pulse beat of the universe. One pulsation compresses, the other expands. The compression pulsation gives form to idea by seeking rest at wave amplitudes through centripetal action. The destructive pulsation voids form to seek rest at wave axes through centrifugal reaction. These two opposite desires are characteristic of all effects of motion. All animal, vegetable, and mineral life seeks action and rest alternately. All effects of motion manifest that principle. A ball thrown in the air seeks rest from its action and returns from its unbalanced condition to seek rest through reaction. After a day of work, man rests from action so that he may repeat his day of action. Because of these two opposite desires of universal mind thinking, all creating things appear on earths from the void of their heaven, disappear from their earths into their void in the heavens, and reappear from that void to repeat their desires. This explains the mystery of, quote, matter appearing from space to be alternately swallowed by space, unquote. And a caption from the Divine Iliad. Again, I say, I am the soul of my universe of creating things. Within my being is desire for manifesting my being. Desire in me is soul in me. That which is soul in me desireth to manifest in form through light. Light extendeth from soul in me and returneth to soul in me, the extension and returning being two seeming lights of me. Again I say, I am the seed of my unfolding-refolding universe. Within my light, all formless seed of planned idea are enfolded in my being at rest in me. Again I say, all things extendeth from me and returneth to me. From me all things are born from seed of thought in me, and born again with each pulsation of my thinking. There is naught but birth in my imagining. There is no death in me, for endings and beginnings are one in me. Naught but life reacheth out from me, and naught but life meets returning life for rebirth in me. Wherefore I say, ye must be born again and again unto that infinity of mirrored reachings which is my imagining. Thus is my one idea continued endlessly in image forms of my thinking. Thus is my one idea reborn as many ones in the multiplying mirrors of my light, forever without end. Again I say, Again I say, the mirrored multiples of my thought images are but reflections of my imaginings. They are not me. From the Divine Iliad. Chapter 10. The Unfolding-Refolding Principle. The two opposite electric expressions of desire, of mind, unfold all idea of mind from its pattern in the seed into image forms to simulate the idea of mind and refold it back into its recorded pattern in the seed for again unfolding. Each one unbalances the other in order that each may seek balance in the other to disappear and reappear as the other. Positive electricity is the father light, which gravitates toward a point of rest which centers all creating things. Negative electricity is the mother light, which radiates towards planes of the one light at rest, which bound all wave fields of motion. Positive electricity winds the light of motion into dense solids around points of still magnetic light. It compresses motion into incandescent spheres surrounded by the vacuity of negative electricity. It goes into later on the cube and the wave. The cube and the sphere are basically the only forms of true forms of creation, but that'll come later. Negative electricity unwinds the light of motion from dense solidity to tenuous vacuity by expanding it into cubic wave fields of space. So the feminine is the cube, and the masculine or the father wave is the sphere. That's my side note, sorry. Positive electricity pulls inward spirally from within against the opposing resistance of negative electricity, which thrusts outward spirally from within. This two-way radial universe of seeming motion is the product of these two opposed electric conditioners of matter which pass through each other in opposite directions, like concentric. Each interchanges with the other in sequential pulsations as they pass through each other from points of gravity to wave field boundaries and back again in endless cycles. Each becomes the other at halfway rest points of their cycles. Large-scale examples of this process can be seen in any of the spiral nebula, notably Nebula 74 Piscium. Two fiery spiral arms of radiating mother light reach out from the equator of its central sun to born its countless other suns and earths by unfolding them from its centering seed. Two black arms of gravitating father light pull spirally inward from the heavens toward the poles of the centering giant sun to generate the sun in incandescent oneness of all form. The father light of gravity refolds all unfolding forms from creation's seed in formless light of suns and gives them growing bodies. Gravitation is the male principle of creation. Gravity refolds towards the seed. Radiation is the female principle of creation. Radiation unfolds from the seed. Because remember, he spoke, this is a side note, earlier, that the male principle is compression and the female is expansion. So gravitation is the male and radiation is the female. I'm just trying to put this in layman's terms if it gets a little bit intense. Okay, the generating light of gravitation and the degenerative light of radiation are projected through each other from rest to rest in pulsing sequences to manifest idea by borning father-mother forms of idea through their voiding interchange. This principle of rhythmic balanced interchange between father-mother lights of gravitation and radiation is fundamental in all creating things. It is the principle of two-way equal giving, which manifests the quality of love in the light of the one. And a caption from the Divine Iliad. Translate thou the light of my thinking into man's words for his guidance. I am balance. In me all my imaginings are balanced in their seeming unbalance. I add, but that which I add to one pulsation of my thinking I subtract from the other one. I divide, but that which I divide I multiply. My pairs of opposites are equal, but again I say that they are opposites, and opposites oppose in my universe of me. Opposites void opposites, while likes retain their friendly orbits side by side. All the sons of heaven give light of each to each, while the dark voids the light and the light, likewise the dark. My two lights move in opposed ways to avoid the other's path, but find these paths to be lanes leading into and out of vortices centered by but one rest pole, where the two poles are not, having never even met as two. Pairs of opposites are drawn into each other's vortices, where they void each other, passionately. Each is then not a zero simulating that zero of their source from which they sprang, but they are also seed for another seeming two which emerge from the oneness of their source. From the Divine Iliad.